All right, once that manuscript is done, it's a polished gem, it's perfect. Now, I even find typos in professionally, traditionally published books, so you'll probably find something. Don't get discouraged if you do. You get to decide whether or not you want to do traditional publishing or self publishing. There's advantages, disadvantages, and challenges to both of them. Traditional publishing, obviously you get the credibility and the prestige. You have to have a literary agent to pick you up so that they can promote your book with publishers. That's typically the way that it goes. Usually you can't have non-solicited manuscripts going directly to publishers. There's a few of them that will on occasion, but usually you have to have a literary agent, and getting one of those can be tricky. Another advantage is that if you do have a literary agent, they can help with professional editing and the design, the cover and the formatting and all of that, to make sure that it meets industry standards. They will help with your marketing and distribution. Although I have noticed a trend lately where a lot of literary agents want to know how many people are on your email list, how many followers that you have. And so they are expecting authors to do a lot of their marketing and promotion themselves up front before even picking up an author. So this is kind of a twist in the industry. One of the other advantages is that you do typically get an advanced payment. So usually you get some sort of a advance payment before the book, and you also get then those industry connections, helping relationships with literary agents, booksellers, and media outlets, kind of a boost to your career, so you kind of have access to that networking. Now, some of the challenges are that it's very competitive and very selective, and so securing a literary agent is very, very hard. You will see a lot of people will query for years and get lots of rejections. Even some of the greats, J.K. Rowling and Stephen King, both got numerous denials. So I think Stephen King in his On Writing book even said he had a nail on the wall that every time he got a rejection, he, crucified there on the wall, and he had quite a few of them. So it does take persistence. It just kind of has to be the right place at the right time, and the lightning has to strike for you to be able to get a literary agent. But, if you want to go that route, you can definitely choose to do so. You do lose a little bit of control over the creative process, and so various aspects of your book, such as your title and your cover, and maybe even changes to the characters or the plot. And so this can be very frustrating if you have a very specific vision for your book, and compromising on that. You're also looking at a longer timeline. So traditional publishing can be very slow. It can take months or even years for your book to actually release. And you're looking at lower royalties, and that's typically because your publisher and your literary agent are going to take a piece. So that leaves less of the piece of the pie for you as the artist. Now, if you go the self-publishing route, you get that creative control. So you have control over every aspect of your book. You get to make all the decisions on the content, the design, the marketing. It's 100% your responsibility. You are going to get higher royalties compared to traditional publishers. It's a faster publication. So once your manuscript is ready, you can pretty much publish it immediately and order author copies of the book, and you can be selling them, as soon as it's done. You have a direct reader connection. It lets you develop a direct relationship with the reader, rather than going through a publishing house or a literary agent. And flexibility. So you can choose to change the book's pricing, different marketing strategies. You get to make those changes there, and you're not working on any kind of a timeline. So if you have a sequel book, your traditional publisher might have a deadline for that. You would have flexibility to set your own deadline if you self-published. Now, there are challenges with self-publishing. There are upfront costs and initial investments. So if you're paying for an editor, that's coming out of your pocket. If If you're paying for cover design coming out of your pocket, formatting and marketing, all of these costs can add up quickly. And so you have to determine, whether or not that's something that you can do yourself or if it's something that you need to hire somebody to do. Also keep in mind that marketing and promotion becomes 100% your responsibility. You get no support from any publishing house. So all of your promoting is you. You are doing your branding and your visibility, your credibility, which is time consuming. I can say that I spend a lot of time on social media platforms and branding and advertisements, and that is time that I am not writing. So it does, if you really want to take it seriously and you really want to push it, you're going to have to do some of these marketing, these promotions, in-person book signings. You're going to have to sign up for events. That means you're going to be gone on the weekends. Hotel expensive, booth expenses, all of this stuff adds up. So if you are self-publishing, you have to do those things. If you're not doing those things, you can't just hit the button and publish and expect to make money, because it is not going to happen. So you have to hit the ground running. You have to do the legwork on it. So keep that in mind when you're self-publishing if you want to be successful. If you just want to put it out there just for funsies to say that you did it, fine. Not a big deal. But if you're wanting to make it a serious career, you're going to have to do the work. Distribution limitations. So you may not have access to major online retailers whenever you publish your book. Amazon does allow you to participate in their wholesale program. However, I don't think their wholesale program is very popular with the retailers. So keep that in mind. There's also this perceived stigma that industry professionals feel like self-published books are subpar quality. So overcoming that bias is very important in helping your book stand out. Unfortunately, there is a lot of garbage out there, and there's a lot of AI generated garbage out there, and there's going to continue to be garbage out there. So please don't be one of the people who publishes garbage. Make sure your stuff is clean. Make sure that it's good. If you put a good book out there, hopefully people will buy it. But there is going to be a perceived stigma that traditionally published authors are going to think that they're better than you. And, okay, there's a lot of different ways to do this. Please keep in mind, vanity presses are not better than you. They're really not much better than the self-publishing stigma. Vanity presses, and we'll cover this later this year, basically you pay somebody to publish your book. You should never pay anybody to publish your book. These are all things that they're going to do all of those things that you can do on your own for self-editing or self-publishing, and they're going to charge you for it. And you're going to have to buy so many copies. You're going to have thousands of copies in your garage, and then they're not really going to help you sell them or move them. So that's a whole nother thing. You're basically paying. It's a pay to play. And then, one of the other challenges is, and I've already touched on it, is the time management, the balancing between writing and the business aspects of self-publishing. It can be very demanding. So juggling writing, marketing, and promotions. I do game design on top of that. You got social media that you have to keep up with. You have events that you're organizing. And that's on top of your normal everyday life. And if you have a 9-to-5 job, as I do, in addition to being an author, then it becomes even more challenging to fit those things into the schedule. And I always joke, in my free time, because I don't really have much free time. Most of my free time is devoted to something, whether it be the full-time job, the family, or my writing career. But yeah, it's not just the marketing and promotion, but it's also the billing, the business part of it, like the ordering, the inventory, the taxes, all of those things. It is very time consuming. And that is a part of self-publishing that I think a lot of people don't realize. And it's a very, very important part of the art of writing. It's the other side of it. You have the creative side and then you have the business side. So I think it's important to understand that that's part of the self-publishing side. And so if you decide to go self-publishing, realizing that that's going to be part of the job if you want to take it seriously. So until next time.